Hi everyone. Hello everybody. I'm trying to do a full screen here. Yeah. Happy Easter holidays, guys. I'm just gonna wait for you to all come on in and let's talk. Let's do this live stream. Happy Monday, each and every one of you. Please like and share. And if you can hear me, please do let me know in the comment section as well. Because at times when I'm working on my laptop at times and I'm playing music, I often forget to turn off the audio because I'm connected to the wireless speaker. So welcome everybody. This is another beautiful week with a sad story. Obviously, I saw this news, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday, and obviously I was editing videos, I was cooking and doing all the rest. So I was not able to do it last night, so I thought, why not? We'll do it today. So, welcome everybody. If you are new to my channel, my name is Wemimo. All right, you can call me Wemi as well, and I'm also known as That Mama Five, and I also known as TM5 Candle Co because I have a small side business where I sell scented candles, all the good stuff about home scents. So yeah, the story today is about a Nigerian man, a 77-year-old Nigerian man. Let me see if I can share my screen so I could read the news. Okay. And I saw it this morning, like was it this morning or yesterday that I saw the news? So it was about a 77-year-old Nigerian man who was shot in Philly. When I saw that news, I was like, a 77-year-old man, why is he working that late? I mean, what I meant by late, like the age. 77. Anyway, let's read the news first. Let's read the story. So, according to Punch newspaper here, it says Nigerian Uber driver SHOT dead in the US, passenger in critical condition. So, apparently, Mr. Bolaji, that's his name, Olatunji Bolaji, so is a Yoruba Nigerian man, a 77-year-old Nigerian Uber driver, Olatunji W. Bolaji, was unalived. Guys, I might change the words here, and it's not me not being sensitive. I'm being sensitive about this news. However, due to YouTube community guidelines, there are some words that you really can't use. I've noticed that in other videos when I've used them, they've either strike my video or I was not able to get the video monetized. So me saying unalive is because I don't want to use the word according to the story, if you can see it on my screen. So it was unalived in a shoot-in outside a hookah lounge in Philadelphia, United States. Mr. Balaji, who lived in Norristown, Peninsula, I can't pronounce that. Okay, was on duty around 2 a.m. on Wednesday when he picked up a passenger, a 22-year-old man, outside the Biblos Hookah Bar near Rittenhouse Square in city center, as the news reported. So police said shortly after Mr. Balaji picked up the young man, another vehicle pulled up behind his SUV and two men got out. One of them opened FIRE, unaliving both Mr. Bolaji. So Mr. Bolaji was unalived, but the passenger was in a critical condition and is still in hospital. So despite Mr. Bolaji being SHOT in the head, Mr. Bolaji managed to drive a short distance before crashing into a pole at 17th and Chestnut Streets. He was pronounced dead at the scene. So unfortunate, and my condolences goes to the family, okay? His passenger, so Mr. Balaji's passenger, whom he picked up, who sustained a GUN shot wounds to the arm, leg, and stomach, was rushed to Jefferson Hospital in critical condition. Police say the shooting was captured on surveillance cameras, and I've got a couple of those videos, so hopefully I'll be able to play with you guys. Please like this live stream as you come, and I really appreciate it. All right. So, and the attackers were in a black Jeep Grand Cherokee, believed to have Massachusetts number plates. Authorities are still trying to determine the motive behind the attack. Investigators believe there may have been a physical altercation between the passenger and the suspect before the shooting. You know what? When I read the story, I think Mr. Balaji was never meant to be in this crossfire. Yeah, I mean, not a crossfire in this issue that happened. I don't think it was never meant to be. It was never meant to be. Okay, it was just a Uber driver going to pick up a passenger. Whatever that passenger must have got himself involved in led to Mr. Bolaji being caught in this deadly issue that happened. Okay, so ride hailing platform Uber has expressed sadness over the incident, and obviously they said their heartbreak for the family, driver, loved ones in the wake of this devastating loss. We've reached out to the police to offer our support as they work to bring those responsible for his heinous act of violence to justice, the company said. So neighbors have expressed their guilt, their grief also. And a long-time family friend who once lived with Mr. Bolaji told the news that he was a kind man who was always ready to help others. He described Mr. Bolaji as a dedicated worker, a loving partner, and a proud father whose son is a college graduate. All right. According to the friend, Mr. Bolaji's family is devastated by his death and is seeking justice. A GoFundMe campaign has been launched to support Mr. Bolaji's family. I was looking for that GoFundMe page in case there's any of you who might be interested in, supporting in any way. The funds will go towards funeral and memorial expenses, as well as living and counseling costs during their period of mourning. So that was the news there from Punch newspaper. All right, and also the news so far again that I found was that of from Philadelphia's web page themselves, where they said that the Philadelphia driver, the passenger was actually allegedly the one maybe they were coming for, and not necessarily Mr. Bolaji. So I've got a couple of videos here that I want to play for you guys. So it's just the newscasters reporting about it. So we're going to listen to that video. I'm going to add a few thoughts, a few opinions that I've got in regards to this news. There's a lot, okay? There's a lot, but let's watch what the news channels have to say.
Morning, the victim, an Uber driver, shot in the head. And Greg, this was a passenger in his car, and police believe the shooting was targeted.
Yeah, Dawn, that's exactly right. And it has actually been confirmed that the driver in this case was an Uber driver. And they actually just released a statement in regards to this, saying our hearts break for the driver's family and loved ones in the wake of this devastating loss. We've reached out to police to offer our support as they work to bring those responsible for this heinous act of violence to justice. Now, where this shooting took place was right here on South 18th Street, right in front of Byblos. Now, speaking with people in the area, they've all said the same thing, that they want to see this gun violence stop in the city. This afternoon, the usual foot and vehicle traffic filled South 18th Street in Center City. A very different scene than early this morning as police lights took over the area for a fatal double shooting.
So I think it's sad that it happens, but where we live, unfortunately, that's the day-to-day thing that happens over here.
Police say just before 2 a.m., they were called to the 100 block of South 18th Street for reports of a person with a gun. When police arrived, they found a black Chevy Suburban crashed nearby on 17th and Chestnut. Inside the vehicle, the driver, a 77-year-old man, was suffering from a gunshot wound to the head. And a second victim, a 22-year-old passenger, was suffering from gunshot wounds to the arm, stomach, and chest. Police say the shooting happened around the corner on 18th Street, where the 22-year-old had been in a physical altercation outside Byblos Hookah Bar. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Meanwhile, the 77-year-old, believed to be a rideshare driver who tried to drive away before crashing the vehicle, died on scene.
Right, so I don't want to play too much of that video there. So you guys have a understanding of what's actually happened there. So obviously, as a Nigerian in me, what came into my mind at first when I saw that story was, why is a 77-year-old man still walking? And this is not me trying to be insensitive, okay? I'm quite sensitive, and I'm going to be treading softly in regards to my opinion. Why is a 77-year-old man still walking? And this kind of goes back to a conversation that I often have with somebody very close to me, that you're not walking. Look at your age. When do you want to start walking? Do you want to start working when your mates are retiring? Because I believe in the UK, the retirement age is it 60 something, if I'm not mistaken. At first, when I started working in this country, it was 58, but I think they've increased the retirement age now. So when do you actually want to start working if you've not been working all this while? And I really want to know when you really want to start working, because if you're not working, you've not been working for years, when actually do you plan to? So this also goes to some Nigerian men that we have in diaspora who often leave their wives to do the bringing money in when they sit on their backside and do nothing. I am not saying this is what Mr. Balaji has done all his life in the US. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just pointing this out that there are some African men in diaspora who are not working, who believe that, oh, yes, I'm in diaspora now. Yes, my wife is working. I don't have to do anything. Like, at what age do you want to start working? So let's go back to the story of Mr. Balaji. So Mr. Balaji was upon his death a 77-year-old Nigerian man. And I don't know how long he has been living in Philadelphia for, but well, like I said, when I saw that story, I was like, why is a 77-year-old man still working? Something is wrong somewhere. Something is wrong somewhere. As I am sitting down here, I am praying to God that either I win a jackpot, I'm going to keep working as long as I've got the strength, but my plan, my prayer is that I want to retire when I'm in my late 50s. If possible, retire at 50. That is what I'm praying to my God for. But a 77-year-old man still working. Like I said, something must have gone wrong at some point in Mr. Balaji's life for him to still be working. And I understand there are some people who retire and they find themselves still wanting to work. And in that case, if you really want to work after your retirement age, working as a Uber driver late at night, 2 a.m., I don't think that's ideal. And I know of some people here in the UK who are older. Obviously, they've worked, they've now retired, but they still want to carry on working. Most of them don't do all this roadside, the way Uber goes everywhere. They don't. Some of them limit their Uber jobs to airports only. Any other job, yes, they do Uber. Any other trips, outwit airport journeys, they don't do it. They must have their reasons. They must have their reasons. Like I said, there's been a few times I've taken the taxi to the airport, and when I look at the drivers, a few times they were elderly men, and yes, they will have been of retirement age, but they chose to do they rather sit in their taxi in front of the airport and take passengers from the airport to where they are going and collect a passenger from wherever to their. They don't do street taxi. And this Uber thing job again, my husband used to do Uber taxi. I mean, he used to do Uber, and at some point, he often doesn't work in the morning. He did this, prior till COVID started. He was a Uber driver, and for me, I was always concerned because he mostly goes out at night. He's like, oh, he's much busy, so he practically goes out driving at night. And for me, I'll be concerned. I'll not be able to sleep. Like 2 a.m., this man is not back, and I'm like, I was not happy with him doing the job when he was doing, but he stopped when COVID struck. I was not happy with him doing that work because I was just like, why would just do driving during the day? And his excuse there was always like, oh no, I don't want to during the day because you just be driving around. There's not a lot of jobs during the day. Yes, maybe rush hour first thing in the morning, and then once the rush hour is away, people are away at their workplaces. It's kind of like quiet, so he prefers to go out later in the evening. So what are we saying now? Uber transportation on its own is dangerous. You can imagine 2 a.m. at night. You don't know the type of passenger you are carrying. Yes, I know you've ordered via the app. The passenger is sent the details of the driver, and I don't know how drivers confirm their passengers. A few times that I have taken Uber, before the driver actually opens his car, normally they have like a child lock or something. Before they open their door, they ask me, they confirm. Even me, I don't even wait to be asked. I just bent my hand and say, Wemimo, that's like, I give them my name, and then they check the app, and then I open the, I get in. I don't know if most of them do that. Okay, I don't know if most of them do that, because at the end of the day, I find all this taxing business quite a dangerous job. Okay, because yes, you're picking somebody at night, you don't know where they're coming from, you don't know what they've done, because according to the story it's been alleged that there was an altercation between that passenger he picked prior. So I don't think Mr. Balaji was aware of that altercation, and I don't think Mr. Balaji was the person who was targeted in that shooting. I believe it was his passenger allegedly that was targeted. So obviously, because the way I watched the news and I read the story, it was alleged that the passenger obviously recognized his taxi or the Uber he ordered. He just made way into the taxi, and before Mr. Balaji could realize what was going on, the shooting already started. And you guys heard from that news that he was able to drive a few not miles, a few steps away before the car crashed. So, like I was saying, something must have gone wrong for Mr. Abola. Mr. Abola used to be working at 77. I don't know what that could be. And don't get me wrong, my dad is 73, 74. And one thing is this: the older you become, there are some things you are not quick to act. At 77, Mr. Balaji there will be changes in his physical abilities. There will be changes in his vision and hearing. There will be changes there will be cognitive decline, reflexes, reaction time. Maybe if he was a younger man who was in the position of Mr. Balaji, maybe he might have been able to get away with that passenger in his car. So this obviously signs of aging and effects of aging. Like I said, my dad is 73, and I believe my dad retired just before he turned 50, because obviously I think there in Nigeria, if you've worked for 30 years with the government or something, you retire after you've worked for 30 years. Please correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. And if you can hear me, please let me know in the comment section. Please let me know if you can hear me in the comment section. And please like this live stream, guys. There's 21 of you watching, and I've only got 7 likes. Please take the likes to 21, please. I really appreciate it. So my dad retired at the age of just before, I think, late 40s. That was when he retired. He retired before I even got married, and I've been married for 20 years. So I'm sure I'm not missing the time here. And I remembered at some point, when I've already relocated abroad, he said he wanted to go into transportation business. And at some point, he started that transportation business. And I was like, I was not quite happy with it. So I kind of spoke with my siblings and said, you know what, I've spoken to Dad, and he said this is the kind of business. Like, I asked him that, I'm not happy with this, your transportation business of hiring vehicles. And then that was when this Keke Napep recently came in Nigeria. So he had one. In fact, was it one or two? He was driving one and he hired one out. And I said to my siblings that I'm really not happy with him doing that kind of a job. My mom has a supermarket and stuff like that. I was not happy with him doing that work, mainly because I was more concerned about his safety. And we all know how when I went to Nigeria, those Keke Napep, the way they drive, they're even worse than Okadas, motorcycles. So I said to my dad, I'm not quite happy with this kind of business thing, transportation you are doing that. See, if you don't want to do this transport thing, is there any kind of business you would like to do? And when I was speaking to him, because I actually let him know how I feel or how I felt about this transportation thing he was doing. And he said, if he could just maybe own a shop and sell cement, like supply cement. And I was like, yeah, that's doable. So obviously he has this massive space in front of his house where he lives. That was where we were able to construct a shop for my mom. And I was like, yeah, why not? So I spoke with my other siblings. I said, come, this is what our dad said he would like to do. Let's see what we can put together and let's make this happen for him. So this is not me bragging, okay? This is not me bragging, but I single-handedly funded that business for my dad because they lived in Ikorodu, and Ikorodu obviously there's some part of Ikorodu that's been there for decades, and there's some new areas where people are still coming to build their houses. So it felt like if it starts that business, it could supply cement to all of the new people who are coming to build their properties and stuff like that. So this business, we started it about almost 2 years now. We're able to construct erect a shop in his compound, and we got cement suppliers to supply him. So, and he sells, because every time I speak to him, he was like, oh yeah, Ojanta, that is making money, that the market is coming. As it is, I'm planning on even expanding it for him, because at times he struggles to catch up with demand, because at times when people come to order, he will have to contact the people that supplies him and say, oh, I need this, I need 200 bags, I need 500 bags, and I'm quite happy doing that. So I was super happy that he said to me that was the kind of business he wanted to do. So with that being said, at 77, some Nigerian men will have packed their bags and gone back home to Nigeria, because that is their enjoyment time. I really want to understand why he was still out working. And like I said, 77-year-old. Some people are in care homes here in the UK. Some people are in the care home here in the UK. Hello, Vivian V. How are you? Happy Easter to you as well. Please, can anyone briefly meet? Nobody's dropped the comment. You are the first person who's dropped the comment. So we are talking about a 77-year-old Nigerian man who was unalived in Philadelphia. while he picked up a passenger. So he's a Uber driver, and while he was collecting his passenger, he was shot. Obviously, it's according to the news, it says I don't think the driver himself is the target. I think the passenger was the target. So Mr. Balaji unfortunately lost his life because he was shot in the head, and his passenger is in the hospital. So that's what we are talking. So we're just talking about why is a 77-year-old man still working. I mean, obviously that kind of a job, like I said, there are some people that I've seen who don't do they don't do daylight or nighttime taxing. They only restrict their taxing business to airport only. They only go to the airport to collect a passenger. They stay at the airport to bring a passenger. They don't do any other taxing anyway. And trust me, taxis from airports, they are expensive here in the UK. I remember when I went to Turkey with my kids, we had to take 2 taxis. It cost us £70. At some point, I was like, why didn't I bring the car? Because I drive a 7-seater. We could have stuffed the bags into the boot, and I could have parked my car at the airport for a week, more cheaper than the £70 I had to pay the taxi, because we pay a taxi very early in the morning. You have to tip them. And recently, when I went to Germany as well, when I was coming out to get a Uber, the airport to my house is less than 20 minutes away. The Uber cost me £28. You can imagine, maybe they take 30 passengers. £28 times 30. That's a lot of money. So, question is, why is a 77-year-old man still working? And just like I said before you came in the VMV, that the older you become, you like an age people, you suffer some cognitive issues. You'll be slow to react at times. There'll be changes in your physical abilities. A 77-year-old man driving, before, obviously, I would imagine he will be driving an automatic vehicle. Okay, so before he even puts his car to drive, a young fit guy will have driven miles away in such scenario when there's gunshot. Pow, pow, pow. So I was watching a show this morning, and it's been from that show, I think they alleged that Mr. Balaji is married to a white woman, an American woman. So they were like, oh, could there be a reason why? Like, why would his wife allow him go work at the age of 77? So some are saying it is greed. Some are saying, oh, maybe Baba has some commitments. But I really don't want to dwell on that. What I'm trying to achieve with this live stream is tell those men who are refusing to work at their young age. Like I said, I have somebody that I'm talking to who is refusing to do so. And I'm like, okay, at your age now, when do you actually want to work? The retirement age in the UK starts from between the age of 58 and 62. And there's something called early retirement. There's a couple of my colleagues at work, they're like 60 nurses, 60-year-old and above. So they retire at the proper retirement age. Normally, while they're working full time. So maybe like 4 days a week. So when they get to that early retirement age, they cut their hours to maybe they only work like 2 days a week, which means they have the whole 5 days to do as they like. A few of the colleagues at my work who took that early retirement, at times I'm jealous. I'm like, oh, you guys are lucky. You only have to come into work 2 days a week, unlike me that I have to do 4 days, So I don't know if that's the same in the US, but I definitely don't want to work till the age of 77. My prayer is that my late 40s or early 50s, I want to stop working. At some point, I was actually going to take multiple jobs because, like I said earlier on, that sometimes ago, that I've changed my work pattern, which means that I do 3 days, 3 days of three in 3 weeks, I work 3 days a week. And my fourth week, I do 4 days. So which means that in a week, I only have to do 3 days of work and I have 4 days to myself. So I was like, oh, I can seek a second employment and but then I was like, what money am I looking for? What money am I looking for? By the time I do the first shift, second shift, I do 12-hour shifts a day. By the time I do the first day, second day, I'm already thinking about my life because I know I have to go do the third day of 12 hours. So I do 37.5 hours a week. So now that I've now gone to 3 days, 3 days a week, and then by week 4, I do 4 days a week. It's in a way, I've gone from 10 hours a week, which means that instead of working 4 days a week, I now do 3 days a week. And then by the fourth week, I'm doing 4 days a week. So I'm doing 12 hours a week. And then I'm thinking, oh, I want to go and take a second job. I was like, what kind of money am I looking for? So, like I said, 77-year-old, it's sad that this happened to him. And also, his family are now, they've started a GoFundMe for him. Which now takes me to the next instance of why did the family so why is it the family solicit for GoFundMe? I thought Americaners, like people in diaspora, they don't joke with their life insurances. You will have imagined that there will be some sort of life insurance in place for this man that he will have set up for himself. Or is he of the same Nigerian mentality who don't believe in life insurance? For me, I did not believe in life insurance up till I did not have a life insurance till maybe mid last year when I experienced a healthcare. I thought I had breast cancer because I found a lump last year and I did not have any insurance whatsoever. I did not have any cover whatsoever. But prior to me going to figure out what it was, I decided to put, in fact, it was Abby. Abby was one of the people that, pushed me like, no, that mom of five, you need to put in your health insurance, your life insurance. It doesn't cost that much. The amount of money that you used to drink your coffee every month, you can spend it with your life insurance and stuff. So I set up all of that before I even got an hospital appointment to check if it was what I was scared it was going to be. But thankfully, after I went to the hospital, did my test, the result came out about 2 weeks later. They said it was nothing, that it was just I can't even remember what it was, something, but it's meant it possibly it could reoccur, but it's something that women would often get maybe early stage of your menstruation. I can't remember what it's called now. It was definitely a lump, but they had to drain it. Avivia, I don't know if anybody, Abby's not here now, Abby would have been able to help me out. So it was not something that could have meant maybe it was the C word. It was not. But I remember the doctor telling me then that this could occur, that in the first day of my period, I should try and, check out my boobs to be sure that, just check, because it could occur and it's normal. And if it occur, I should not be in denial, because yes, when I found out the first, I was in denial for 3 days before I summoned the courage to speak to my GP. And yes, I got an emergency appointment. Within a week, I was sane. And so I always argue that people might say the NHS is failing, but there's some certain aspect of NHS that's not failing. There's some aspect of NHS that is a quick turnover. If you're waiting in terms of surgical, yes, the list might be long. But when it comes to, like, in case of the word of cancer or any sign of it, trust me, it is very, very quick. It's very, very quick. So yeah, when I had that healthcare, I had to put a life insurance into place. I had to find myself a private healthcare, because you can never tell. And I've still got both running. In fact, I was watching a live stream recently, and someone was like, "Please check your life insurance, because it's for a certain time. If you reach that age and nothing happens to you, you will have to start your life insurance again." I'm yet to do that, but I'm going to be contacting my life insurance policy to figure that out. So now, Mr. Baladi's family are here seeking for GoFundMe. And when they tabled the way they've listed it, GoFundMe, it's kind of like recorded the cost of funeral, stuff like that to help the family, cost of counseling for the family and stuff like that, because of the way Mr. Balaji went. And I was just like, okay, like, I don't know how long Mr. Balaji has been in the US for. And at 77, he does not have any sort of insurance. If any of you are watching me and you don't have one, let me know in the comment section what is stopping you. What is stopping you? And also, one thing that African men often do is this. They retire, or maybe their relationship breaks down, and the next thing they want to do is they remarry. Guys, I've always said is that men, once a relationship breaks, men move on really quick. And then somebody that already has maybe like 4 or 3 children from that previous relationship, they now move on. Obviously, maybe being an older person, maybe 55 or whatever age, they now move on, they go and marry a younger woman, and then they start having more kids. And I'm like, why are you freaking having more children? The journey that you've done in your early years, why are you starting it all over again? So from the story I read earlier on, it says that Mr. Balaji has a son who just graduated from college. Mr. Balaji is 77 years old. He has a son who just graduated from college. I want to believe he probably has older children from a previous relationship. So it's so sad that this happened. And yes, there's the news everywhere. They are working really hard to try and find those who committed this offense. But guys, what could make somebody keep working at the age of 77? I'm going to leave the link if anybody wants to call in. If anybody wants to call in and chip in 1 or 2 things, I really want to know. Like, for me, I'm sorry, my prayer to God is I must retire before I turn 60. I must retire before I turn 60. Guys, please like the live stream for me. I've dropped the link in the comment section. And I understand that obviously the people who do this taxi Uber thing, they prefer to work at night because the surge rate at night is higher. Like, they can charge more later in the evening at night than if they were working during the day. But for me, I really don't like that kind of I really don't like that kind of a job. Hello, Mr. Ola. Good evening. Mr. Ola Kidola. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you very much.
Welcome,
This,
sir. Today.
yeah, I read about this thing too.
It was
You see,
sad.
my sister, it doesn't mean that it didn't work earlier. Because I think you've been in the States for years. That guy might be in the States maybe for 40 years even, if not more. One thing in America, their pension system, right? It seems like they can take it up front also.
Okay.
Possibility is mortgage. Possibility of other things. Because you said his son just graduated. Might be working, maybe doesn't want his son to start owing debt and all these things, right? You see, or it might not even have nothing at all in Africa.
Possible. It's possible.
That's why I will always advise our people. There's a way to say, I'm a citizen, I'm a citizen, I'm a citizen. At first, it might be shocking when you're young, but you start getting older, you start saying, it might not be too really important, really like that.
Yeah.
If some of them would have house in Africa and have other things in Africa, at that age, you're supposed to be chilling, visiting friends.
Yeah, traveling the world.
Travel the world, or if it's your old friends that are still in the village, go back there, discuss, eat your small pension. I think sometimes it's a little bit difficult. I don't know, between Nigeria and foreign women, which one actually might lead the man to Africa more. And there's this kind of hate that's also going on in America. I think that you see some of these Black Americans not really like Africans, really like that. Let's just be honest. I don't see why somebody have to shot a man that is 77 years old, an old man. You saw him on top of stairs. You know this guy is old, he's very fragile.
Yeah. Apparently, it was not really the target. I think his passenger was the 23-year-old guy was allegedly the target.
Yeah, but the driver and the passenger, they have distance.
They were in the car.
Maybe they saw him to be an African. Possibility. Maybe they just saw him, saw his face and everything, because there's this kind of hate going on in internet that you see what so-called fake diaspora war, but it's kind of like hatred against Africans. You understand me? That kind of thing can also play a very big role.
Yeah.
They might deny it or not. But it's a pity. 77-year-old man, possibility to stay in the US for more than 40-something years.
Yeah, I think he's been there for a long time. Yeah.
And maybe that's not a really job. He might be a professional worker before. Maybe this is what he have now to be making some money, possibility helping his son. You see, we Africans, we have the way we kind of like say, okay, I don't want this my son. I want him to get it light in life. That owning this student debts and everything. That might be what is, is chasing. Because my father also did it for me when I was younger. You understand me? My father did the love. It's a principal. It's a school principal, But on his on his free day, he would take his car, go around Tazi for me without me not knowing. You understand me? So parents, we as African, we always have a way of giving help. We always have a way of this my son is struggling. I don't want him to fall into this kind of something. That's how this thing might happen. I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for his family in Africa.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the family in this. When I read about this thing, as you felt also in Nigeria, in me, I was angry.
I was raging. I was boiling. Like to make it make sense. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
I was very angry. I said, why? What of this fragile man? Possible. You see him even in that this guy is fragile. Before he even turned that car, before he even move, Before
Yeah,
this,
exactly.
you will
There'll be some things that he's not able to quickly do anymore. Like I said, that even if he might be driving an automatic, before he even puts the gear into D, a young active guy will have driven,
yeah,
sped up because of the
yes,
age difference.
no, he have no money. Possibility they have to look. They have to bury him. Possibility
It's
why
crazy.
they go to that GoFundMe, they have to look for how to bury him. Possibility in Africa, or maybe in his plan he want to go back to Africa to be buried there. You understand me? So they have to look for how to transport that body and to go and bury it in somewhere else, maybe in America. Be as a Nigerian and him be in Nigeria. I felt this is a guy that worked very hard, possibility studied at his early 20s. Because I also have uncle like this man also, who went to US 1977 and he's still there. And that was even a
With that being said, I have an uncle in the US as well. He used to be in the UK and then he's now in the US now, and I think he's married to a white woman or something. And yes, he's still working. In fact, he's got visual impairment and he's still working. He was an engineer before he left Nigeria. So that's the kind of job he's still doing now. You can imagine if he's in Nigeria, he would just have his own workshop and all the small boys will be working for him, right?
and
But no, in America, he's working. Even though with his eyes, he's working. And I'm like, what kind of life is that?
Yeah, because man like that they will have age mates, they will meet, or even young boys, they will be vibing with himself. In Nigeria, especially if you live in the city, like when you say your dad live in Lagos, Korodu, you understand me? You see young guys, cause daddy, how you doing now? Daddy, how far? Even when they didn't see him, they'll start to look for him. You know what I mean? Why did that not push up now? You know what I mean? Something like that. We have that kind of child to father kind of relationship. You understand me? To say what is going on, give a happy hand. If you go to Nigeria today, you see a street boy who is like a neighborhood boy who just like to help an elderly man to do some other things and all those things. But place like America, it not really exists. That you and yourself and your mom, maybe your old wife, if your children know with you, both of you people will struggle it out there by holding each other hand. I felt sorry for this man. I hope that they did kill that man just because of where he's coming from.
I hope not. I hope not.
Because if it's like Africa now, this year would have happened to some of these black Americans that you see them all internet ramming, screaming. Oh, the Africans doesn't like us. Now I hope this our brother, not because he look African or he sound African. That's why they ROP the guy. That's what I want to say about this. I feel sorry for his family.
Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution. Thank you so much, sir. Miss Jeto, thanks so much, sir. Miss Jeto, I clearly understand that some people are retired but don't know how to switch up. Like I shared a story about my dad as well. Like he retired at a very young age. Like he worked in Nigerian government. He worked at 9 Post actually. So I think if you work with the Nigerian government for up to 30 years of your life, you retire after 30 years or something. So my dad retired before he turned 50, and like I said, he's been retired before I even left Nigeria. Before I got married, my dad already retired before I got married. So, and it's been 20 years I've been in marriage. So, and he's 73, 74. And it was like maybe 3-4 years ago, I was like, oh, Dad, what kind of job do you want to do? I told me he wanted to start. He said he wants to come and you said he wants to be riding that keke napep. I was like, what? And I'm like, no, I was fearful. Like, no, I don't want that kind because obviously I know he's aging. He's not going to be as active as young boys who are driving. I've seen the way those people who drive that keke napep, that tricycle thing in Nigeria. I've seen how crazy they drive. And I'm like, Dad, no, I'm not quite happy with this. I have to take it upon myself to set him. He said he would like to sell cement. He wants to go into the cement business. And I set it upon myself to set up that business for him. It cost me a lot of money. I won't lie. But I am happy knowing that he's in his shop. In fact, if you see the name that he gave is the if you see the headboard or whatever they call it, the business name for his cement thing, when I saw the video, I smiled. He's happy. He has a space there. Anytime I don't ask him often because it's his business. Anytime I ask him how's business going, oh yeah, it's going great. That he's even struggling to reach out to to supply because people are demanding because it's like where they live is an area that is just developing. People are still building there, so it's making money. I understand clearly that people does not know how to switch off, but I think Uber job, driving. I mean, what is the age that you stop driving? I don't know. In some countries, when you are over a certain age, you can no longer drive. when you're over a certain age, you can no longer drive. I don't know what age it is, but I know for certain when you're over a certain age in the UK, you can no longer drive. 77 is still driving. And even if somebody like that wants to take up a job, retail job could be a good one. Either checkouts or even stacking shelves. At least that way, your mobility, you're not doing heavy duty, you're not pulling and pushing. Driving at night is so dangerous at night. You don't even know, even though you are carrying a passenger at night, how do you even confirm clearly that hello, my baby sister Adebimpe, welcome, how are you? Long time no see. That time of the night, and like I said earlier on, if at 77, some is going to have some sort of decline in its mobility, vision, hearing, how is quick to react to things. If that was a young guy behind the wheel, do you think they would not have been able to drive off when those guys were targeting the passenger? Because according to the news that I've read and videos that we've listened to, I do not think Mr. Balaji was a target here. I don't think he was a target. I think the passenger was allegedly, possibly the target here. And yes, it's just a matter of time those shooters will be found. But then, like I said, at 77, why is it still working? And some mistakes that some of our African men do. See, for me, one thing, I've been in the UK for 20 years, and I've often said that I don't have a mortgage. The reason why I do not have a mortgage was at some point, I struggled to understand the logic behind mortgage here in the UK as compared to the way you own your house in Nigeria. You know, in Nigeria, you buy land, the land is yours. You can pass it on to your children, and then you build, it's yours. So I struggled to understand the way mortgage works in the UK. And so for years, I was not thinking about it. And when I started, obviously, in my late 30s, I started to think about it. Obviously, when I realized how difficult it is for me to get a bigger accommodation for my family, because if I apply to any of the local housing, they said to me, I need a 6-bedroom house. And tell me, where in the UK do they build a 6-bedroom house if you want to rent from the local housing, which they often call the council house? They don't see 4-bedroom that they build. It's not even enough compared to 3 bedrooms, because Oyibo people know they bought plenty children. So it started to dawn on me when my children started growing older, and I realized that, oh shit, I'm going to need a bigger accommodation. And since I've been renting, I've only been in 3-bedroom. And according to the housing policy, children above the age of 10 are entitled to their own bedroom. So me that I get 5 picking now, each of my children are entitled to a bedroom of their own, but I'm in a 3-bed. So it was then I realized that, oh, okay, I need to get a mortgage. And now I'm 42. I don't think I want to get a mortgage anymore, because if I get now, I don't think I'll be able to pay off that mortgage before I get to my retirement age. Why? Because I'm 42. So if I now go and take a mortgage, maybe I might not get a 5-bedroom house mortgage. Maybe I might just get a 4-bedroom or 3-bedroom, because at least I'm hoping that at some point my children will grow older. They will have their own place, they will have their own partners, and they will want to move out. But as an African parent in me, I want to keep all of my children at home with me till they're like, oh, mom, I want to go make a deposit for my first flat, or mom, I'm moving in with my partner. I want to keep all of my children at home with me till they get to that stage. So now, with that being said, when I said some mistakes our African people made when they're at their retirement age, some of them, they might maybe just have a little bit left of their mortgage. But what stops it from remortgaging? Maybe they used to have children and all of their children are no longer living with them. Why keep a 4-bedroom house as a retired person? You can downgrade. You can remortgage and buy a smaller, maybe a flat or a 2-bedroom bungalow house. But then some of them will keep that big property and still keep paying for it. And some of them will struggle. So I've said to myself, by the time I turn 45, if I don't get a mortgage in this country, I'm not bothered about it. It wasn't until 3 years ago I started thinking seriously about getting a mortgage. And at some point, I had the deposit, but I blew the money. Obviously, I was like, no, I'm one of those people that I need to build a house in Nigeria. I need to set this up in Nigeria. We need to set this up in Nigeria. That's my belief, that you need to have something. At least if you take the children visiting back home, you don't want to go and be rent. You don't want to go and be staying in a hotel. And I know there's Airbnb now everywhere that, even that, you'll be spending a lot of money as compared to if you have your own house. Where, like me now, I have 5 children. I want to be able to take them home to our own house, So obviously, for me, that's like a late take. That's I'm not going to push. But one thing I'm trying to say here is that at that age, obviously, people living at that age, you retire, they're still keeping their big properties. You can downgrade, you can downsize, so that way, So that way you're not paying too much. And the older you are becoming as well, you need to be cutting down on your expenditures as well. That is what some people do not realize. You are old, you are retired, and you are still carrying the responsibility of some family members back home in Nigeria. Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Mr. Joseph said, my dear sister, let me put it up here. My dear sister, working at 77 is not a bad thing. Once the person asks, yes, absolutely. I'm not doubting it, but then the kind of job you do, you should be careful in the kind of job you do, actually. Driving a taxi at night. And I've heard that all those areas, there are some areas in the United States that you really don't want to be working late at night. And I said that my husband used to do taxi business. And he would normally go out maybe from 10 o'clock at night. And I would not sleep because I would be worried, like, hey, this man, oh, I don't know what's happening, oh, I don't know this, oh, I don't know that, oh. I was always concerned, not to talk of somebody who is 77 years old. So when my husband was doing Uber business, it was maybe 43, 44. He stopped when COVID struck. When COVID started in UK, that was when my husband stopped because, a lot of people passed away during COVID. So I was always worried about him. Like, I was always worried about him. Taxi business. And he likes driving at night because obviously at night, if you do Uber at night, you make lots of money. I was always worried about him. I would not sleep. See, if I hear the key in the lock, I will be, thank God. So 77, I'm afraid I don't want to keep working at 77. If I'm going to work at 77, let me work at home. Maybe my project management degree that I've not used for years, I will just go and do a certificate and go and look for a work at home job. So you said working at 77 is not a bad thing once the person has the good health to do it. But tell me, how many African people in diaspora have good health at 77? I saw 83-year-old Japanese man still driving. You want to compare an African man with a Japanese man? It's like you're comparing a UK man with a Chinese man. Their physical appearance alone is different. I'm sure you know that. So you can't compare their health. You guys know what I'm talking about when you see a Chinese man. And if you see for Chinese, there's a guy at my work, he's 38 years old, and he looked like a 23-year-old boy. Yes, he's 38, and he looked like a 23-year-old boy. So compare a 38-year-old Englishman and a Japanese man together. Do you think they will look the same? No. Hello, Mr. Izzy. I'm hoping you are a Mr. Bassi. Live with Natu, welcome, my big sister. How are you? The link is in the comment section. If anybody wants to jump in and share their opinions, you're welcome. Live with Natu said, working at 77 is not good, I beg. Body in exactly. See, at that time, I want to be jetting everywhere. If it means maybe go and stay in Nigeria for 7 months and come and enjoy the cold weather for 1 month and go back again. And that's why at times when I look at my pay slip at the end of the month and I see my pension, 6.8% is what comes out of my salary that goes into my pension. 6.8%. And on top of that, I will still do a job. I will still do £500 savings every month. I used to do £1,000 a month, but like I need to do baby girl. So I no longer do £1,000 savings every month anymore. I only do £500 savings every month. And I've been doing it for a very long time. So you can imagine 6.9% of my salary going into my pension. And I still have to do savings of £500. At times I do £700. It depends on if I've not been spending a lot in the months, then I will add more into my savings. So like with Nato said, that 77, I'm sorry. And even if you want to do such job, taxing late at night when anything could happen, what if you get mugged? At that age, what if you get mugged? And you have to consider your own safety. And like I said, I was watching a live stream earlier on, and you know what, they were kind of like shading lots of African men at that age, because like a story that we read earlier, he has a son who has just graduated from college. So a 77-year-old man with a son who has just graduated from college. I want to believe he probably has a child from previous relationship. That's what we are saying. I just don't want to be the one to slam it down. Maybe he has no pension or his pension is too small. Possibly. That's why, if you're in the diaspora and you are working, please ensure you have something called put into your pension. I've got some people who are actually opting out of their pension at work. And I'm like, are you mad? Why are you opting out of pension? Do you have another way of putting money into your pension? Because it doesn't make sense. Only if they have a private pension. See, even if you have a private pension, nothing stops you from keeping the pension at work. So Mr. Ladimeji said, for our brother, maybe he has no pension or his pension is too small. See, if his pension is too small, then it has to happen that when you get to that retirement age, or if you are getting closer to retirement age, you need to start cutting down on your expenditure. If you're living in a big accommodation and there's only two of you, you and your wife, you need to move into a smaller accommodation. You need to cut down. And as adults, as people grow older, you will eat less. You need to start cutting. You need to start cutting costs. And African parents, like my parents now, they are lucky because they are not buying Christmas present every year for my children, so they are lucky. But me, that I'm in diaspora now, when I get to that age when I'm retired, I'll be buying Christmas present for my grandkids. So you need to start cutting down on your expenditures as well. And yes, in the UK, there are lots of senior card in there, like, if you're a retired person, you travel free on the train, you travel free on the coach. There are some discounts you get for being a senior something. I can't remember what the senior citizen in the UK. I think it's like you get that free bus pass I did of maybe when you're over 60, that's when you get that card. There are so many opportunities, like incentives for older people when they retire. So many taxi drivers don't know this. They made money but paid very little. Exactly. My husband was making that excuse that mistake as well when he was doing his Uber. It was actually not doing it. It was not paying into his tax. And I was like, come, you're self-employed, so you should be paying something into your tax, into your pension. And he's like, oh, I will do it. I don't think he ever did. Well, you only did taxi for how many years? So I don't think he ever did. So I'm glad that he opted out of that business anyway. But if you're being employed, chip something into your pension. And if you're able to afford a private pension, you can do that as well, but not having any at all. That's so funny. So, and that's why I'm laughing at some people who have refused to work because they're in diaspora. Yes, they'll say, oh, if you're in diaspora, ashiribo, so that people in Nigeria will not see all of your bottom outside to know that you are not really making money. But if you're here in the diaspora, you have every opportunity to make a living for yourself legitly, and you're not doing it. Your old age. I'm sorry. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat, Bassi. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. Hello, Vivian V. Vivian V said, I am welcome. Happy start. Vivian V is greeting everybody. Guys, please say hello to Vivian V in the comment section. Right, I'm going to drop the link. I'm just taking calls now. I already did my summary. So we're just talking about a 77-year-old Nigerian man who was caught in a shooting in Philly. And according to the news that we've heard so far, I don't think it was the target. From the news, I don't think it was the target. I believe his passenger was the target. And I wouldn't be surprised why his passenger was the target. It could have been a DRUG gone wrong. I won't be surprised once the investigation starts that was what his passenger was allegedly into. So we should plan towards, like I said, me now, my plan is, if I don't get a mortgage by age 65, by age 45, I'm not going to push it. And if I'm going to go for a mortgage at age 45, I would have at least 50% of the deposit, so that I know that before I retire, I'm able to pay it all up. So I'm trying my best to get one. Okay, I'm trying my best to get one. But if I don't get it by age 45, that's it. I'm not going to push it. I'm just going to stay in my council flats. I can pay the rent, and I can still afford to go on holiday. I can still afford to do baby girl if I want to. So that's that. Okay. Vivian said, Kidola is right. Some Afro-Americans have it for us, judging by their comments on other platforms. Oh, all right, okay. I've not seen a lot, but yeah. And Bassi said, it's an advantage to employers when opt out of pensions. They don't contribute certain percentage. That's crazy though, because when I was working in retail, I worked in Sainsbury's for 7 years. And whatever percentage of contribution you make towards your pension, Sainsbury's was doubling it. I remember I was working 30 hours a week then with Sainsbury's, and I think it was maybe 4.8% of my salary that was going into my pension. So for the fact that 4.8 is going into my pension from my money, my employer at Sainsbury's, they were doubling it up. So that rather than I was getting 4.8 times 2. So if I put 4.8 into my pension, my employer at Sainsbury's was putting in extra 4.8. I think that's what employers should do. That's what employers should do. And on top of that, Sainsbury's will still give us 25% discount if there's any sales or any, maybe like Easter holidays now, they will give us 25% off your shopping. They do occasional discount offs like that. So I think it's something that employers should consider, okay? I work with the NHS, so I think NHS should be able to do that for us. They should be able to like maybe double our pension. Because at the end of the day, for me now, I don't even know how much my estimated pensionable money will be every month when I retire, because I was not born in this country, and no matter how I calculate it, I can never be able to get that exact amount you're supposed to get full. Unlike children who were born here, who have been working all their lives and they've been paying into their pension. I only started working full-time employment when I was 31 or 32, if I'm not mistaken. So I've not really been working for that long. And if I calculate the time that I was having my children, I was only working part-time. So you working part-time does not really count, because if you're working part-time, you don't get any pension. You don't earn enough to be enrolled into the pension scheme. So yeah. Hello, Ebu Niger Mama, how are you? Mr. Joseph said there are some very rich people in Nigeria who are over 80 and they still go to the office. What about that? You know what? Let me put your comment on the screen. So, over 80 in Nigeria. Compare, if you put such person, 80 and over in Nigeria, put them side by side with somebody who is 80 years old Nigerian in the UK or in the US. See, their physical appearance alone is different. Because the one in Nigeria is not thinking about paying rent. He's not thinking about paying for water. He's not thinking about paying for mortgage. He's probably living in his own house that he has built, and he's probably collecting rent. And his children are looking after him. And he's eating fresh food every day. And he can see, go and flenjo at a bar. As compared to an 80-year-old in the US, who maybe still has mortgage to pay, still have children to help because they're either in college or something, still have to pay for whatever social security and all of that. Like, the difference, you can't compare an 80-year-old in Nigeria with an 80-year-old here in Diaspora. You can't. I don't want to mention them. They are very rich. So what is wrong if they can still work? I'm not saying they should not work, but you can't compare somebody who is in Nigeria with somebody who is here in the diaspora. I was just making an example there of a guy at my work is 38 years old, but he looks 22. So if that one is still working, if he's still working until age 80, you probably think he's a 40-something-year-old man. It's different. That, like, even the 77-year-old man now, put him aside the 77-year-old man in Nigeria, who obviously looked after himself. There's difference there. There's a lot of difference. What happened to the targeted? So the targeted passenger is in hospital in a critical condition. So he received shots to his stomach, I think his legs and his shoulder or something. So hopefully once he wakes up or once he comes out of surgery, he might be able to help them figure out who those two people were. Okay. I think I've got another video here that I want to play.
77-year-old man.
So that's the
Police
people.
are using this surveillance video to track down the gunman who killed an Uber driver as he picked up a passenger. Tonight, his family is grieving and hoping for answers.
Oh, all right, Mr. DG.
Wednesday night, I'm Shari Williams. Rick is off. The big story on Action News tonight is the latest on a shooting that killed an Uber driver and sent another man to the hospital. It happened in Center City, Philadelphia, on a popular street full of businesses. Action News reporter Brianna Smith looking into the details for
Mr. Adimeni said he disagreed with. That's fine. We agree to disagree. It's absolutely fine. You know, we allowed our thought and opinion. But I just feel like if I'm in Nigeria, I'm sorry, I'll be living flenjo life. Look at the story of this man we are talking about. He has a son who's just graduated from college at 77. How old do you think that son will be? Bassa said, with NIC contribution for 10 years, you are qualified. Yes. I've looked at my what's that app? What's that app that we have? HMRC app. I do qualify, yeah, but it's not a lot of money. I'm sorry. It's not a lot of money. So that's why I'm hustling on YouTube. Live with Natu. Hello, my brave sister. Welcome. Unmute yourself. Live with Natu. Mute yourself. Oh, you've already muted yourself. Are you there? So Eben and Mama said that's true. Mr. Ladimeji said, abroad, there are 90 years old people still driving through, though personal car, not taxi. So obviously, like I said, there will be some, I'm sure there's a certain age in the UK that you reach that you can no longer drive. I'm certain about that. So I don't know about 90-year-old people that are still driving. I don't know about that, but yeah. Sub-deviating Vivian V. Mr. Dimeji, Vivian is coming for you. The Purpose Woman. Hello, you're welcome. So the Purpose Woman said, that mom of five, if you put your mind to it, you can get a mortgage. You know why I'm saying this is that I made some crazy financial mistakes in the past. That when I was actually physically trying to get a mortgage, I was like, there's no way, like no bank will want to touch me. But it's been almost It's been years now. I've settled some of them. Some of them are falling off my credit report. That's why I said in one of my videos that when you enter into the UK, the first set of people you meet will determine how successful your journey in the UK will be. I hope you guys understand. So I met with a couple of people who believe that doing Oluwole things is the way, taking credit cards, splurging on it and not paying. And for me, I would have been able to continue paying that credit card, but that was the time where I was at uni, the first time studying my degree in information technology then, and I was having babies. So my part-time job was not enough. So I practically was living on my credit card then. And at some point, I fell off the wagon. I could not pay. So it was that credit card that actually damaged my credit report years ago. But if I go to look at my credit rating now, according to, I'm at, I think in the UK, it's about 590 something. So my credit report is currently 550 something. For my area, it's good. But now, I just need, like I said, if I want to go for a property now, I need to have half of the deposit. So my deposit must be, so if I'm going for a £250,000 house, so maybe the deposit will be maybe 5% or 10%. If I want to be able to put at least 15% down, if I really want to go into it, that's it. But if I'm not able to do it, so probably myself, if you put your mind to it, you can get a mortgage. My mom is also a nurse and got a mortgage at 747. Oh, all right, okay, that's reassuring, purpose woman. I'm going to start. No, I'm still working at it. I'm still getting my savings going on. And yes, I'm still looking at it. So I'm treading very carefully. Like I said, if I don't get it by 8:45, I'm not going to bother about it. So yeah. Hello, Knife with Latu. Unmute yourself.
Sis, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Welcome.
Nigeria network.
Yeah, you're in Nigeria?
Yeah, so
bring goodies. So you must bring goodies back. Oh.
Yes, I'm enjoying myself. I ate Amala on the DM this afternoon our house.
Oh, just stay safe out there, okay?
Listen, I saw this story yesterday and I was happy when I saw that you were going to cover it. I feel like, honestly speaking, our parents have made a lot of mistakes that we're not allowed to make now.
Yeah.
And that's why at this age that we're still strong, we need to create multiple sources of income. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're not paying for anything bad. So that even when we retire, we'll not rely on pension. We'll have other money coming from other avenues. And somebody said that working at 77 is not bad if you're still strong. See, the energy that you have at 40, you don't have that energy at 77. So instead of stressing yourself and be working because if you still feel like you are strong and you are healthy, you can still work. No, let your body rest. Even you enjoy it. You have worked your whole life. This is time for you to rest and enjoy. And enter your soft life era and enjoy. But I feel so bad for the guy, honestly speaking. And this brings me to speaking to people, especially those people that want to Japan. See, if you are above 50 and you have that amount of money to Japan, you have 30M to 20M, start a business in Nigeria. It's better for you.
Exactly.
Because that Japan, you are starting from the scratch.
Exactly.
And starting from the scratch, a child that is 37 will be your boss. Because they are building a resume in America. Now, they will build a resume abroad. And that resume that you're bringing from abroad will now apply to them because they want you to be in their system. And then if you're already in 50, the money that you contribute to your 401k won't be as much as the money that you've contributed from your age 30 and from your age 20.
Absolutely. You hear from people, you hear some people in the diaspora, they'll say they've been working since they were 17.
Exactly. And those people that get social security, they'll be getting a heavy social security because they've been working since they were young. So honestly speaking, it's a sad story, but also a lesson for us to all pick. Having one stream of income is a crime.
It is.
One of the biggest crimes. Especially to one age group.
This is another source of income that I'm sitting at.
Yes. Yeah, because you are building it. In the next 5 years now, I'm telling you, you can decide to say you will not work because of the money that this thing is bringing for you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, true.
Some people are YouTubers and they tell you that they work 9 to 5, but they don't work overtime because they rather, like, Brother used to talk to us all the time. He said, he did not mean his job. He does not work over. He won't work overtime. He rather invest his time in his YouTube or also in his photography business. Do you understand what I'm saying? Which is another big key. That even if you retire, you can make money off that one. So honestly, and all the advice that you give are very, very valid. If you are a certain age and you don't have a mortgage, it's smelling trouble because that means that you're going to work for the rest of your life.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, that with mortgage, that what, obviously I'm not looking to buy a 5-bedroom because my kids are grown. They are going to leave
Yes.
home at some point. So
You
even
will
if I could
downsize.
just give
You have
myself,
to
if I could
downsize.
give myself a 3-bedroom house, even now a 3-bedroom house will do. So if I'm going to buy that, I want to at least have more than the asking deposit. So that
Yes.
way, at 42, I know before I retire, I will finish paying the house. I know that for certain because I
Yes.
just don't have one source of income. I have
Yes.
multiple sources of income. I know I will do it. But with person that has one source of income, you will struggle. You will you will struggle. So it's a shame. Like I said, I'm praying
The
that I
person,
retire before I turn 60.
right.
You
The
know,
person that is our age group now that has multiple streams of income, you don't have to even work overtime. You don't have to work twice as much as other people are working because you are creating
exactly.
other streams. You understand what I'm saying? So you diversify your energy and you don't have to put all that stress. If you have to be standing and be working, sitting in front of a computer, you don't have to do all of that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. Absolutely. So, guys, you are listening. You are listening. Working at 77. Don't pray that for yourself. So, Mr. Ladimeji, you are just talking. You said our brother might have marital problems that made him. That's why I said he might probably have children from previous relationship. That child who has just finished college cannot be his only child, and it's been alleged that he's married to an Akata woman, an American Igbo woman, allegedly. So, and we've heard stories of how some of these people, the way they do our African men. I was it a week ago. I was sharing the story of my husband's nephew. The way he came abroad to study, and then from there, I think he failed his masters or something, and from there he met a Oyibo woman here, and the girl showed him pepper. The girl showed him pepper. Obviously, the girl already had 3 children. She had 3 children from her previous relationship. It is this guy that will take them to football. He's working full time. He's working 247. Doing, and I'm like, come, these children are not even yours. He's doing everything for them as if he's their father. And when the girl started giving him basketballs, fortunately, they were able to. She's able to have a child for him, a daughter, because they were not able. In fact, the home office don't even make it. The home office don't make it difficult for them because the lady said she got phobia for flights, which means she can't travel. So they didn't have to go to Nigeria to go and do proper wedding or stuff like that. But then, before he now qualified for that paper that he was looking for, no be small thing. You can imagine
Yeah.
taking them for football, taking them for all the extracurricular activities which their father should be doing. He's the one who was doing. He's doing it. You can
And a
imagine,
lot of
and he
people
already has a child in his marriage.
opportunities.
What was that, Natu? What did you say?
See, a lot of people know how to abuse that opportunity too. Once they get somebody and they know that you are looking for something, do you understand what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
start abusing that opportunity and trying to milk everything out of you. And to the person making the comment, sorry, I'm half blind, I can't see well and it's late, and we're driving. That's why I'm saying that this is the reason. Elon Musk has 13 children. Does he have to work multiple jobs? No. And that's why we're encouraging like multiple streams of income now, so that whatever
Exactly.
comes to your old age, you have money down. You don't have to stress yourself. All you be doing with your wife
Exactly.
is traveling for vacation. And somebody like every month they go on vacation. Every month
Exactly.
they have vacation. Every month. I'm like, you people don't rest. What do we do? We are retired. They go for
Exactly. They are
walks.
enjoying the life of their head. They're
Yes.
enjoying the life of their head.
I know that it probably has a problem, but what I'm saying is that we are doing this show to pick up the lessons. It's for us to pick up the
Absolutely.
lessons, which we are picking up and encouraging each other right now. If you don't have any, go and sit down with yourself this week and look at what is your passion. What can you do that you add
Exactly.
value to people and make money out of it? And start doing it like Mom of Five is doing.
Exactly.
2 or 3 times
Exactly.
a week, she jumps on live. A lot of us jump. A lot of us here, that's where we come and distress. One of us talk and
Exactly.
because the
You come and take your distress medication. Is it the diazepam you want? I've been at the diclofenac you want. I've been at proxine. I'll come and give you which of the dosage you want.
exactly. And I'm telling you, let me tell you, Mama Five, what you don't know is that, like a lot of us, that once I started realizing a lot of Nigerians that have YouTube and do live stream, and I started joining, I've made a lot of friends from this live stream. That's number one. Number two, anytime I'm stressed, I'll be like, I beg, which of my sisters or brother get show today? Go cheat, do
Find
bad
them.
boast. By the time once I do bad boast and finish and come back, like all the stress is gone.
It's
I
gone.
just go and sleep. I'm telling you. I'm really telling you. So
It's
it's
true.
really
It's
helpful.
true.
Sometimes you watch some of the videos that you guys post and just listen, pick some. So there are a lot of things that if you are a good orator, use that to your advantage. Make
Absolutely.
videos, make reactions to videos, to topics, to life
Yeah.
in the trending situations. Do all of that. Do
Yeah.
all of that.
Absolutely.
So there are plenty
Absolutely.
things you can do, honestly speaking.
That you can
I
do.
pray that God will
Absolutely.
help you open our eyes.
Amen.
Hi,
Amen.
everyone.
Enjoy Nigeria and chop all the suya and all the donkwa.
Listen, my sister, please don't talk about it. I've enjoyed myself.
Oh, it is well. I'm jealous. I really want to go to Nigeria,
I
but I would love to go
really
during the Christmas period. But the flight
yeah,
tickets are not smiling because the children will want to come
they
with
are
me, and
not.
the
They
flight
are
tickets are
not.
not smiling.
And you know, it's
Like,
always easy because we don't have kids now, so it's easy for us to just jump and go. But we
the
keep telling
way
ourselves that
my own are asking to come
and
with
we
me, and I'm
spend
like, "Oh, I
when
want
we
to pay for
spend
five of
personal
you."
together, we can't do all of this. That's why we're taking advantage of it.
My children they want to come with me, and I'm like, how am I going to buy ticket for five of you to Nigeria?
Yeah,
How? I don't have such money. And that is
yeah,
going to be, I've not even looked at the tickets, but that is excluding spending money. You want to do,
yes.
I want to treat them
So
and all. I'm
we are
like,
going to have to
guys,
at least £10,000.
I mean,
At
that 10,000,
least,
I'm not about to spend it on traveling to Nigeria.
at least.
I'm not about to. I'm sorry. Maybe if I win a lottery this weekend, I might consider it, but I'm telling them, guys, you have to take, maybe I'll take one of you. I'll be taking one of you every year. I can't
Yeah,
take five of you.
yeah,
But you guys are lucky. Enjoy while, while you're
yeah,
able to.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Mr.
Thank
Adeji
you.
said, Mr. Ladimeji said, may his soul rest in peace if he deserves it. This is a lesson for women that are aging. Thank you so much. Thank you for saying this comment. Because, like I said, men, you are leaving your previous relationship that you already have children in it. You now go and start life with another woman and you are having more babies. The journey that you've already encountered, that you've successfully had, you had a previous relationship and you have children there. You now, maybe I don't know what age, you now, maybe that marriage or that relationship now broke. You now start another relationship. You now go and look for a young girl, and that one wants to have children with you because she thinks that you have money, and you are starting Pampers journey all over again, starting nursery journey all over again, starting to go and wait for the school bus all over again. Like, you're not helping yourself. So I thank you so much, Mr. Ladimedi, for dropping this. If you have marital problem, don't look for a lady that will bump for you again. You should look for somebody that will be looking after you. You look after the person looks after you. Shikena. I was watching a live stream earlier on where the host said that there was a man who was like an older man who actually got married again, and this time around got married to a younger lady, and then encouraged the younger lady to go to go study nursing. And obviously his plan was to either use the lady, because for him he's aged, he can't do as much anymore, so he's actually encouraging the lady to go and do nursing, and when the lady start making money as a nurse, he can start one way or the other be living off the woman. And the young lady realized what the man wanted to do. She left him. And this is one of the times that I'm going to agree with that the phrase that if you are of a certain age, do not travel abroad. So with this man, Mr. Balaji, now I want to believe he's been in the US for longer. I want to believe he's been abroad for a very long time. I don't think it's part of the Jackpot syndrome. People know. I don't think he's like that. I want to believe he's been here for a very long time. So, and I think we did a live stream a few weeks back where an Igbo man claimed that his wife brought him to the diaspora as a dependent in the UK, and because of one reason or the other, because he couldn't find a job, the wife threw him out. That man is 60 something, and he's only just coming to the UK less than 2 years ago. So according to the story, he's been in the UK for like a year and a half or something, and he's not been able to find a job. Tell me, who wants to recruit a 65-year-old when retirement age is that age in the UK? What employer wants to employ him? So also, like, this goes to African men as well. If you are above a certain age, come. If you are above 40, don't plan to come to abroad. Don't jackpot to diaspora. If you are above the age of 40, do not come abroad. If you are below, maybe 35, 32, is a good time for you to embark on the journey. But if you're above 40, you will struggle. You will struggle. Maybe you might not struggle. You might still be able to find a job, but catching up, wanting to be able to do all of those things, be a big man and stuff. And also, one thing else I want people to know is this. There was a time I was pretty much shouldering responsibility. I was shouldering lots of responsibilities. Now, I've said to my family, I do not owe anybody a penny. For you, my siblings, my sisters, I have done what I could for you as a big sister. and now you've gone to school, you're not making a living for yourself, that's fine. Don't come ask me for money. Okay, because I've got responsibilities as well. And if there's anything you are bringing to me, if it is outwit, we want to buy food stuff for mom, we want to buy food stuff for dad, don't bring it to me. I'm not interested, because at the end of the day, we are different branches. We are different branches on a tree. Our parents gave back. Our parents are the tree. And me, I am one branch. You are one branch. And me, from one branch, I have 5 branches. So I can't be looking after 5 branches and still want to gather another branch and add to my own. No. So we should learn to be very, very careful when it comes to taking extended family responsibilities. You are struggling here in diaspora, and an extended family in back home in Nigeria is asking you to pay their rent, that they want to pay school fees, and they are the family that are having 20, 30 children. When you're in diaspora, you are working, you've only got 2 children, and they're asking you to come and pay responsibility, come and pay, you need to wake up. Because if you keep doing that, you will never have enough money for yourself and your family. So I'm not saying you should not help your family, help. But when it's starting to come, bring all the time. You need to cut your hands small like that. I'm going to read your comments and I'm going to start rounding up. If anybody wants to jump in, I've got another 14 minutes, so we do an hour and a half, okay? Another 14 minutes. If you want to jump in, say one or two things, feel free to do so. So Vivian, I saw that story of that politician, that pastor who unalived his wife. I already set up a live stream, so go turn your notification on. So you do. I think we're going to do it on Wednesday. Let me check my diary. I don't think I'm working on Wednesday, so we are going to do it on Wednesday, because I want to delay it to Wednesday so that by then there will have been enough, information about what happened, what transpired. Even though I've already started, maybe I think Abby's enjoying somewhere. I think she's enjoying somewhere, because it's unusual of her not to be here. So we are going to do the story of that Mrs. She might favor or something. She might something favor. That's her name, and her husband is a pastor, and she is a politician. Okay, so we are going to do that story on. I'm looking at my diary here to see when I'm working. So I think we are going to do it on Thursday, or I might do it either tomorrow after 8 o'clock, because I'm working till 8 p.m. tomorrow and on Wednesday. So you guys let me know in the comment section. Should we do it on? I've already set it up. Should we do it on a Thursday at 7 o'clock as normal? Or should we do it either Tuesday or Wednesday after 8 o'clock? Let me know which you would prefer. I've already set it up, so go turn on your notification. So let me read your comment, and if you want to jump in and say one or two things, the link is in the comment section. So Vivian V says, it's good for our Nigeria guys. What they won't take from Nigeria women, they will collect from Oyibo. Exactly. And you see all of their different excuses there. Nigerian women are that. Nigerian women are this. Okay, go and marry Oyibo woman. They will show you pepper. Constantly abusing Nigerian women left, right, and center. Naim good for them. I know. So Vivian said, life with Nancy, please remember to bring some agbaluma for. I've told her she needs to bring something back. Where is that? Is not in the UK or in the US? Because when she brings this thing, I won't be able to get my own portion. I need to go and send her a DM. If she's in the UK, she must bring something back from you. Mr. Dimeji said, people's conditions are different. Absolutely. Some people are to be blamed for their predicaments. Absolutely. Pension can be very boring at times if one doesn't engage in some reason. Absolutely. I agree with you, Mr. Ladimeji. I absolutely agree with you. I mean, I've seen a couple of my colleagues who say they want to opt out of the pension. I'm like, why do you want to opt out of the pension? They might have their reasons, but I'm not faulting them for that. For me, I've worked, like I said, I've been working since. So I got my permanent residency in 2010. I got my permanent residence in 2010. So I've been working since 2011 till now. There are some times I was working part-time, and sometimes, obviously, when I thought US, Kai, so I won't be able to get anything she brings. Life is not now. What for you? So I've been working since 2011. I think for the first 5 years, I was working part-time. And since after, so I think I started working full-time from 2016, but I've been working since 2011 because I got my indefinite leave to remain in 2010. So I've been working since then. I like, I know, I believe that the work of your hands. And I do other things on the side, like I've told you guys before, I do freelance interpreting, where I charge £50 an hour. It might be on Zoom, translate from English to Yoruba, Yoruba to English, translate from Pidgin English, some Edo people might say they don't understand Scottish English. So I translate from English to, and I speak, Pidgin English, I translate, and they pay me 50 quid an hour. At times I could be gone for an entire day. If it is a court case, I could be there from 10 o'clock till maybe 6 o'clock, and they will pay me by the hour. So I do that on the side. I do YouTube, though YouTube is not giving me as much money as I want. Like I said, I think this month so far I've only made maybe £220. I'm hoping that when you guys watch my videos, it might go up, or watch my video, share it might go up. Last month was my biggest pay so far this year on YouTube, because I got almost £900, which to me, converted to naira, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So yeah, we should even when we have the opportunity to work and we have enough time. Yes, some people use their hobbies. I've seen some people who are now onto digital marketing. I want to learn digital marketing as well. But all of the people that I've been seeing, they are charging £500, £700. Like, why are you guys charging all of this money for digital marketing? Because I felt like the extra 4 days off in the week I have, I'm happy to subject 2 days to learn online digital marketing. So I really want to learn digital marketing as well. There's a lot of this stuff about DBAs, and stuff like that, how to sell stuff online, or even how to affiliate, online, drop shipping. I want to learn that. So if any of you has a link of where to learn it cheap without having to pay £500, £600, please let me know. I really want to learn that digital marketing, okay? Because at the end of the day, something you can do on your laptop online. You don't have to go anywhere to do it. So I'm able to put more time. So these are all the things that you can also do as well, okay? So like I said, I was contemplating taking a second job because I'm really I'm thinking a lot about this mortgage stuff now. But yeah, with that being said, I'm hoping to learn it, okay? So I'm reading your comment, guys. So Vivian said, may the soul of Mr. Balaji rest in peace. Just doing his job, just doing his job cost him his life. I hope justice is swift as well. Like I said, even my work at times, if not for the fact that I drive, I don't think I'll be able to start doing the extended late shift that I do now. So not like tomorrow now, I'm starting work at 7. I don't finish till 8 o'clock at night, but I drive, and my walk to my house is about 15 minutes. So if I drive at night, it takes me less than 10 minutes to get home. See, if I were to jump on public transport, I probably won't be working till that time. And also, I don't know how people work night shifts. I can never work night shift. I just don't think it's ideal for people to work at night, because I don't joke with my sleep. I don't think it's right that people work at night. People who does night shift, I don't know how you do it, but working at night, especially in transportation business, I don't think it's safe. I don't think it's safe. I'm sorry. I don't think it's safe. So that's just my opinion in regards to that, okay? So like I said, the family already have a GoFundMe. If you are led to contribute, please go do, because I was listening to some people earlier and they were like, oh, why should they? Does he not have an insurance? This is that. Regardless, the family needs some help or something. So Vivian said, please, Tuesday or Wednesdays won't be able to join. So okay, maybe I will do it on Wednesday then, but it's going to be after 8 o'clock, because I might be lucky to finish from work early, but it depends on how the theaters are running. So I'll go put it to Wednesday, okay? I'll go put it to Wednesday, and hopefully a lot of people will be able to join, but it's going to be after 8 o'clock. So I'll schedule it for 8 o'clock just now. If I'm still at work till 8 o'clock, there's going to be after 8 o'clock. So I think I would do that. I will do that. So like, that's another very powerful woman whose husband unalive her. Okay, and I've been reading stories like, it's been trailing her, it's made her life miserable. Like, no, look, don't let us mix that story. We'll do it on Wednesday. So by then we'll have lots of information, and other people will be able to join us. Vivian said, Natu does not want to share. No, wala, we have royal mail here. So exactly, she can post what we have royal mail. We have royal mail. In fact, like Natu, I was telling Zeno that I want to come to the US as well on holiday. Maybe can't do 2 weeks or something. So like I said, since I'm in this 4th level, 40 plus, I want to be going at least maybe going to abroad somewhere once a year. Okay, I really want to. So the purpose woman said, opting out of workplace pension is one of the worst mistakes you can make. Because I was wondering why some of my colleagues were opting out, and I was like, well, they might have their reasons. So, but I was just like, well, maybe they have a private one, or maybe they just want to do it temporarily. But I don't know why they are opting out. Okay. I have colleagues who are 67 and they can't retire as they can't afford to live on government pension. Like a few of the ladies at my work who are actually of the pension age, there's something they called phased retirement. So they are not fully retired. So they've retired partially, which means that rather than them working full time or working 4 days a week, they now work 2 days a week. So they'll keep working that way till they enter the full retirement age. And I think that's a beautiful thing to do. But for me, I don't want to work till I'm 68. I'm sorry. God answer my prayer. I want to retire before I turn 60. I want to retire by 55 or something. God willing. So, and Purpose Woman said, please invest in workplace and private pension. So for me, I don't have a private pension. I've just been putting into work. Like I said, I put in about 8%, 8 point something percent is what, you can up it as much as you want. So for me, according to my payslip, I've been putting in 8 point something percent. And hopefully by the time I finish paying my student loan, because I'm still paying student loan from my first degree. Okay, that degree just, I don't let me say I regretted studying information technology. If I had been a nurse, if I had actually gone to study nursing in 2000 and when was that 2011, I would have been a qualified nurse for over 13 years now. But God knows best. I would have been making all the moolah now. I'll probably be maybe like a band 7 or band 8 now, but God knows best. There's like a lawyer that I met said, no knowledge is lost. Yes, you might think you've never worked with your high T degree, and now that you're a nurse, never say never. Things might change for people who are a nurse who actually have an IT background. So yeah, I'm not complaining, but yeah. Vivian, you're laughing. So anyway, guys, I think I'm going to end the live stream here. I believe there's a lesson for our African men here, and if you are one that they are telling you to go and work and you are saying you don't want to work, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for you, because only maybe if you don't plan to leave your retirement age here in the diaspora, maybe you want to go back to Nigeria when you are no longer able to work. But then, like, I actually have a video that I'm about to make. It's about obviously me being in the UK for over 20 years, like, my regrets and stuff like that. I'm still planning the video, so it's going to come at some point. If I'm going to jackpada or if I'm not going to jackpada and stuff like that. So I just want to do, like, 20 years, and it's going to be, very, very intense. So I'm still trying to formulate that video there. So yeah, anyway, guys, my condolences goes to Mr. Balaji's family, and I pray that the police who are investigating this crime, that they're able to, God helps them to swiftly bring the criminals to justice. And I want to believe that hopefully the family will be able to get some sort of compensation from the government, because if a crime is being committed towards you, you get some sort of pay, you get some sort of you get some sort of compensation. So I'm hoping that this family, God be with them, God pacify them. And like I said, they have I think if you type in Mr. Balaji's name and type GoFundMe, you should be able to find a GoFundMe page. If your God puts in your mind to support them, please feel free to do so. All right. Yeah, so this way I'm going to end this live stream. Thanks so much, guys. And if you have any the Purpose Woman, please, my email is on the screen here, or you can find me on my Instagram. Please send me that information about mortgage advisors. Okay, I will maybe just to seek advice from them on where I stand just now. At least if I'm able to find out from them if there's anything that's reassuring, maybe that will just motivate me to keep saving, so that maybe give myself another 2 years to properly save and then put all of that into it. So it's something I really want to do. And I've said, by the time I turn 45, if I'm not able to achieve it, I'm not going to chase it anymore. I'm not going to chase it, because not all the fingers are not equal. Okay, we cannot all be landlords in the diaspora. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. And if you have any business proposition for me, you want to advertise on my page, maybe you have a business in the UK or you have a business in Nigeria and you want me to advertise it on my page, for example, while we are doing a live stream now, you want me to advertise your product, feel free to DM me. I can do it for an affordable price for you. Okay, I might send you my rate card, but if you let me know how much you're willing to pay, I might just be able to work with it. And if you want to collaborate with me on any topic you think is something I would gravitate towards, feel free to reach out to me. And yes, I receive super chat as well. And feel free to join my membership, Life with Natu. She's one of my members. Being a part of my membership is the way of you supporting me every month. Say, oh, that mama 5, take this £4.99 and buy yourself a coffee. Abby is also one of my members, one of my members as well. And yes, I am meeting with Abby next week in London. I'm going to London next week over the weekend for a girly time away with Abby. I might do a vlog, but we'll see. So yes, please follow me, subscribe, share, turn on your post notification, and please also check out my business page on TikTok. Like I said, I sell scented candles, I sell home diffusers, I sell wax melts, I sell home fragrances. So please go find me on TikTok. I am TMO5 Candle Co. If you look at the red on the bottom there's a scroll with all of my everything that's got to do with me. Please go put in your orders and you will not regret buying one of my candles. It's affordable. If you can buy Joe Malone candles, mine is affordable. It's not as expensive as Joe Malone, and it's going to be beautifully packed. I've got lots of beautiful fragrances, and yeah, like I said, home fragrances, car diffusers, home diffusers, wax melt, beautiful scented candles, go check me out there on TikTok as well. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. And if you're watching this video back again, feel free to leave your thoughts and opinion. Do you think 77 years old is an age that you still want to keep working? And what kind of job would you gravitate towards at that age? Bearing in mind that at 77, there are some things you will not be able to do anymore. No, your physical abilities is already changing. You might have cognitive defects. You might have cognitive decline. No, your ability to move swiftly, activity to react to things quickly might be declined or might be slow. With all of these considerations, what job do you think is ideal, even for a 77-year-old who does not want to stay put? What kind of job do you think they should do? Feel free to leave your thoughts and opinion as always. And yes, if you watched till now, and you've not subscribed or you've not yet liked this video, like this video for me, and I hope to see you guys at some point. I'll probably see you guys on Wednesday, all right? And have a beautiful Monday evening, all right? Thank you so much, each and every one of you, for those who have called, who have been here. I really appreciate you all. And please, I'm dropping videos every day, 10 a.m. UK time. Nigeria and UK, we're at the same time now. I'm dropping videos every 10 o'clock. The days that I don't drop, that's because maybe I'm trying to give the other video time to to catch up. But 10 o'clock, I drop videos every day, and I will see you at some point again later. All right. Have an amazing evening wherever you are. Bye, guys.